Now, we just got done watching the movie Black Wall Street. What did y'all think about the movie? You gotta talk loud. I want to make sure that they can hear you.
I thought that the movie was good, and also I thought that you said some good things in there.
You said who?
That said some good things in there, like that.
Scoot up closer to the mic. I can't bring the mic. Y'all whisper. Come on now, cause this is going on. This is going on the radio.
Wait a minute. We need you up front. If y'all
Come on,
speak,
come on up.
yes.
Move up.
Y'all speaking. Alright, so she gotta get.
Come over here, Gina. You see the screen right there. All right, so now we want to welcome y'all to those that don't know. Yeah, cut the lights. Want the lights on or off?
Or off. Yeah, the glares. Okay.
All right, what I thought about the movie was that what I thought about the movie was that it was a good movie because it said some things that we can use as some good tips and stuff.
Like what?
What like happened in a past and stuff, and like the good tips and stuff is like it's like a repeating of go to school, get good grades, and then get a job, get a good job, and it tells us that we what's called like how they try to put us down lower than what we really is. How the white people try to put us down lower than what we really is, and they tried to put themselves on top, and we was like, sorry, we can't go.
I have a comment to make. When it was talking about entrepreneurship, if y'all didn't realize what that meant was owning your own business. So it's not about you going to school to work for someone else. It's about having your own business so you can be your own boss, right?
I felt like it was empowering. It talked about things like basically what he just said. So
Talked about entrepreneurship.
Mom, yeah, it's basically what he just said.
Any comments? Anything struck? Anything that hit you hard?
It showed us that we are capable of building. We are still building now. It's just more spread out than it was then. But the people pulled together to provide what it is that they needed. I mean, like I said, we have it now. Each of us has a stroke of genius in us. And I would like to see us continue to be able to pull together to be able to pull out our gifts for today.
What I did learn too is wordplay. Because they used the word riot, a race riot, they weren't able to cash in on their insurance for what they lost. When it was actually, it was a massacre. I can't even think. I mean, it was just
a Holocaust.
They came and just basically wiped the Black people out of the whole existence of their prosperity. So airplanes, it was kind of like waiting for that opportunity to come and tear that down. And this is perfect. Let's use this.
Now, this was the first bombing from the air. I think in recorded history. I ain't gonna say recorded history, but I know it was the first one that happened here in America. They blew that up. They blew that whole city up. And we have to be aware of that fact. Why we're being aware of that something like that can happen? Why is it important to understand something like that?
But we got drones flying around now.
Oh, we definitely do. But go ahead. You got your hand up? All right. Why would it be important to realize that that America bombed one of their own cities? Why would that be important for us to realize, to understand?
To tell us that like America don't really care, but they just want you here for your money and all your work that you did.
Okay. What else? What do you? All right. What's the purpose of studying history? Because before they even got into what we should be doing, or some of the stuff that we should be doing, they covered the history. Why is it always important to study the history?
It's important to study the history to know what happened back in the day and what was going on to make this person do this thing.
Okay.
To get you prepared for the future. Like for instance, to know about what happened in the past, and you're talking about rebuilding it, you have to know what you're really up against. When it comes to actually putting that work in, that you have to really be, I don't know, you can't go into rebuilding blindly. You know, you got to understand that it's going to always be some kind of stepping stones to keep you from making that prosperity or making that, that strive or that goal. So to know what the past was helps you be more prepared for the future.
Now, but the one piece that I want y'all to understand is that they bombed a black time. Now, if you study history, what do they tell you? We got a prosperous black time, a Spain time, all black. So what do we have to be prepared for if we are successful at anything that we're working at?
We have to figure out a way to learn from our mistakes, and the first mistake is how to protect our legacy, period. I mean, time after time after time. And then not to say that we didn't have people there for protection, but part of the movie said some of the soldiers came back from war upset because they wasn't getting the respect that was deserved. Well, they were all fighting in their war. What about the soldiers or the warriors that still stay behind? I mean, for real, we don't get to hear that part of the story.
Right.
They fought back. It's just that you didn't have the same equipment. Yeah, you didn't have the same equipment because it was a military force.
Because I mean, we do need to understand that these people fought to protect what was theirs. The piece that I need everybody here to understand is that when we start doing something properly and we start becoming successful at what we do in whatever enterprise we decide to go on as a group. As individuals, more than likely we cool. But when you start working as a group, you become a threat. You become a threat. And becoming a threat, you need to be able to look back in history and see what happened to threats. What happened to Marcus Garvey's movement? What happened to Elijah Muhammad? What happened when he really started? What happened to I think his name was Israel Ben Israel. I mean, we got a whole bunch of different models. What happened to those type of people? And you have to go in knowing that there's a possibility of what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Say it loud.
Yeah.
See, because when you start talking about liberating your people, when you talk about liberating your money, you're messing with a whole world's economy. We don't create jobs for ourselves, but we create jobs for millions of people. So let's say we get in an industry, and we start to take that industry over. You don't think we're gonna make enemies? You don't think they might try to take some of y'all, or some of us to jail? Like, for example, I was joking last night on my radio show, and I was talking about, I said, if black folks just took over all the lotion manufacturing in the country, I mean, we just would not buy lotion from anybody but one of our own companies, we could liberate ourselves. What do you think would happen to the owners of that company if they wasn't protected by the community?
They'll try to take you down.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute, think about taking out Johnson & Johnson right now. Everybody that used probably Johnson & Johnson since they grew up from a baby, okay? Think about taking them out just with the lotion.
Just with the lotion. We can liberate ourselves. Just with hair care. Liberate. I want to paint the real picture for y'all, because I don't want nobody having the pie in the sky, because once you really start working on liberating yourself, now as an individual, it's hard, but when you start doing it as a group, it becomes even harder.
But it also speaks to the fact that being able to build it is so much more important. You think about the reason why most of our people won't stand up and speak out against something is because they worried about their job. They're worried about being able to feed their family, keep their home. So if somebody else is in control of how I make my money, how I feed myself, and say then I am subject to whatever they. So if I speak up and speak out against an injustice, there's a chance that I could be fired and lose my job. So I better keep myself quiet while I try to maintain my family. So
that's exactly what Wes Watkins was saying. When he was saying, once you get to the point where it's you doing it, you're the one that's feeding your family, taking care of your bills. It's not, you're not getting it from somewhere else, or it's not being handed to you. Then once it's not handed to you, then you have less to answer to, as far as trying to be prosperous or be liberated, so it's important to understand that, understand what it really takes, what you're looking into when you decide to be liberated. Like, what does that involve? Because you can't think you're going to be liberated and still at the same time still have an better understanding what it is, what it means.
can't be 1 foot out, 1 foot in.
Yes.
That means that you're still in.
With that serving two masters. Can't serve two masters.
What? You can't serve two
Can't
masters?
serve two masters.
Oh man. Now. So one of the questions I had at the beginning, do anybody remember how many times they talked about the dollar flipping in that time? Huh? 36 to 100 times. Do anybody know what it means for a dollar to flip?
It means the cycle.
Right, let's spend $1 right now and see if it can at least bounce around if we were in the same community, see if it can support, like, I took this $1, I went and bought some hair care products from you. Okay, well, you went and turned around and you might have
bought some oils for me.
Right. Just saying, went to the grocery store with that same money and bought some food from her grocery store, so it still was staying in the community.
So what's the power? What's the power of that? Because when you start really talking about the economics, they really start talking about the dollar flip. They say that $1 in our community flips maybe 1.5 times, if even that. So what is the power in a dollar flipping? Why is that important?
They all going to be rich for the same amount of money, not the same amount, but it stays in, and you have to go outside of like the Kroger or anything. You spend in at a corner store or pharmacy or something, it stays inside the community. So that means they're going to build there too, while the person you just got the money from is building, because it goes to back. Some ways
In your community, you have the doctors, you have the lawyers, you have the pharmacists, you have the farmers, everything that you need. Somebody within your community has that skill and ability. And right now, our problem is that we're caught up in either entertainment or playing ball. Everybody can't do that. Nobody is trying to specialize in those things that are necessary for a community to actually thrive and be. So some of the questions that they probably ask is, what are things that we need actually to make ourselves self-sufficient in order to run?
So when that dollar moves, it builds an energy. Like, for example, the money is like, if we look at symbols, money is like the blood of the community, blood of the nation.
They call it currency, so it flows like
it flows.
It's supposed to flow like a river.
So
like water.
How long do you think you would live as an individual if your blood on before it left your body?
which means if you don't spend in that community, then your community, your economics fail.
You choking the community.
Yeah,
Nah.
on yourself.
It's a leak. It's like, okay, so if there's a puncture in that bloodline that's going around, if there's a puncture, you die.
You
right?
die. Which in a sense is the state where we are right now. Right? This is why most of us have to leave the area where we live to find a job. Anybody here? Community don't bother. That don't bother them. Planet where we told our total employment and our total survival relies on somebody that most of us know is just tolerating us. Anybody here ever been in a relationship?
Me.
All right, cool. Anybody been in a relationship where you was with somebody at first they liked you, but then they started tolerating you? How does that feel?
Terrible.
Right? It's horrible, isn't it?
Has it happened to you?
Huh? But I want you to understand, as a people, that's the type of relationship that we're having in America right now. And that's what they're trying to bring out in this film. And the ones that's going to liberate us is the young. And the one thing that I'm going to start focusing on this year, because I said it in my podcast last night, I'm focusing on training up the young women. Because everything these little brothers do is to impress y'all. So if I change your mind state, because all these years for the last 30 years, I've been trying to change the mind state of boys. And I can do that. I'm pretty effective at doing that. But I'm seeing right now that the key, at least I believe, the key to our liberation is changing how young ladies think. Changing what you accept. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you change and y'all got a little crew, y'all be like, that's your boyfriend? What he do? What business he in? I mean, y'all got certain values that if an individual don't meet up to those values and those standards, you kicking them to the curb. I ain't even dealing with you. One of the things I told my daughters a long time ago, I said, you have a choice. And ladies, listen to this. You have a choice to become a notch in a man's belt or a jewel in his crown. Your choice. Now, but most of y'all messing with people that don't have nothing, they don't even have a belt. So hell with the crown, so you can't be neither one. Well, actually, you can be the notch in the belt, so maybe they only got a belt. All right, but back to the question. So
No, they don't. They don't keep their pants down.
that's true. They don't have belts.
Damn.
All right, so we answered this question, man. These hangouts is tough. So the money represents blood, and when we don't allow it to circulate, the community dies. So right now we're living in a dying community. Now, what's some of the things that we can do as a group to try to bring some life to Black people? Go ahead.
Starting to, instead of going outside to go to different stores, stay in our community and to buy things from people in our community and to keep it inside instead of going outside for help.
Okay. Now be careful of that because this is what's crazy. The Arabs have now taken over the stores in our community. So we go to the corner store, because I want y'all to think about this. We go to the corner store and give Habib our dollar. So we get our black amount. I'm talking about myself. Go buy my dollar, give Habib my money. He drives away, right? He puts it in the bank, and then he buys products from his people. Then he brings it back to the community and sells it. So every time you go to the store, every time you go to the corner store, you are slowly committing economic suicide. Economic suicide. And it's a very serious thing because our money is leaving.
It's our money that's building up the things that's going on around us, such as how Family Dollars are so conveniently located, and it's easy for them to just pop up in our neighborhoods, is because that's what we're supporting.
And they fool us by saying, hey, we're providing jobs. You know, you're providing 5 jobs that might pay $25,000 a year. That's 5 times 25. Somebody that's on the vapor, man, come on, help me out. How much is that? Not you. $125,000. You're paying $125,000 a year for 5 people, and that ain't even enough money to live on. But you're taking out $3 million. Understand the game. Y'all feel me? We being played. We being pimped. You know. All right. So we got to start. So in those old communities, the dollar flipped 36 to 100 times. That means $1. I want you to think about that. Just $1 in that community moved around and purchased different items. So the same dollar, if we was living in that community, the same dollar that touched my hand would touch everybody's hand in this room before it went to Habib, or before it went to the Chinese people at the hair place, or before it went, or matter of fact, it might not even go to none of those places. It would circulate within here, which generates power, right? Which generates power, which generates energy. All right, so let's move on. Any comments, questions? Let's get through this real quick. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Same community.
Yes. Look, yes.
Man, we fought to live with white folks, man.
No, we
Come
were
on,
able
man.
to at least, I mean, seriously, establish our own. And the major piece that I think my heart is really saddened about is the school system. How educated we were when we had our own, because the teacher, you didn't just go in and teach one subject, you taught all subjects, and they were more higher advanced then than we are even now. For just the education piece alone.
And say one thing is that it forced the dollar to circulate through the community, because oftentimes if you try to go to a white establishment, you weren't going to be served.
Right. So you like
you go where you go where you going to be served.
Yeah.
And if
We had colleges. I'm saying we still have those now, but I'm just saying, if, like you saying, it forced them to create it. Okay, well, I can't go to yours. I'm gonna create my own.
It built trust within the community. You know, it built a trust within the community. And I say that because you can. I remember my dad. He always be like, you know, if a man's word is no good, then he isn't either. You know, that kind of thing. And it's and that's where I say it builds trust in the community. I can trust your word is good. You know what I'm saying? Because if your word isn't good, then I don't have to do business with you anymore, because I can still keep in the business. I can still stay in the community, but I can go ahead and do business with them. That's gonna hurt not to have that, not to have you come in and do business with me. And this is what we got. You know what I'm saying? So it built a trust and a little, I don't want to say honor society, give me something else, a little integrity. It built,
Integrity.
Yes.
Anybody else on segregation? Nothing else? Huh? I thought you might have had it.
That's how you got it.
You said it was good. I said I did.
I thought you want to get up and say,
Because you got kind of excited when I said segregation.
oh, yeah, they left us alone and we was able to build
Right.
I
I think
it's
that's
like leaving a bunch of ants or something in their own little area. Of course, they're gonna multiply and stay inside and work so hard in the inside. When you give them a whole area that they're gonna all spread. When you keep them in captive, they ain't got no other choice but to multiply with the same people. Can't touch nobody else. I mean, you got no choice to stay.
But
inside the community.
I'm sorry, just the lack of interference, and I think we need to really focus key in on that. We was not, I mean, for real, they didn't bother us, so we got an opportunity to actually build.
Because once the integration was enforced, it was enforced for them to come and add control to what it was that we were doing and how we were doing it. And so let's try to keep you right here, you know. So we were I think freer in a sense, you know, a lot more accomplished in quality, you know. There was quality in the foods that were served. You know what I'm saying? I remember being young, which even says that it wasn't, I'm not that old, too long ago when Tally's Market was still in business, from being in business. Tally's Market is on Mount Vernon, you know. It was a little market that, you know, that the older people were so used to going to that's where they sent you even still. But all I gathered was that's where I could get my penny candy from, you know. However, you know, and Emma would be like, go up there and get me 2 heads of lettuce, and you know, and tell Miss Sally that I'll pay her Wednesday. You know, that brought in loyalty and a unity. That's what it brought.
The other thing that I think stemmed from it too is that there was a stronger sense of family.
Yes.
Because coming out of slavery, where everything was disjoint, actually being forced to be with your people caused you to have that cohesion. So there was this familiarity with one another. And so we actually had neighbors in your hood instead of just the hood.
Actually, it wasn't even. It's still, when you saying family, that still was a part. It's a village. I mean,
Right.
that was a part of this. So you couldn't go do no wrong without. I mean, everybody knowing what. I mean, for real, if you did wrong, people down the street be looking. Just that's a shame. You know, you was wrong.
Something that we had talked about before. That name, like, you know, for you to come and you calling yourself, talking to my daughter, what's your last name? Oh, you such boy. It's like he had a strong impact on the community where a lot of people knew him, and you know the things that he was about, and he had a strong sense of self. And it was like, you know, it was, my dad was telling me a story about how he would come, you know, say he would visit this girl. The man allowed my dad to visit with his daughter, you know, say, but he wanted to, you know, constantly, you know, taunt him and, you know, say little side things to him. And but then once he found out who his father was, he's, oh, you know, basically apologetic, like, you know, yeah, he come from a good family, you know, he's okay. You know, it's all about the name. You don't want your name to be associated with thieves, you know, like they all steal. I listen to my dad talk, you know what I'm saying? He sounds so back then to me, you know, like he said, he'll say like, oh, it's a whole lot of them, Tracy, and it was a whole lot of us, you know, and that's how, you know, and they all knew each other and got along, you know, so.
But don't we kind of still live in the segregation though? I mean, y'all ain't noticed? Is it just me?
We just ain't got business.
Oh, say it again. Say it loud, man.
Right.
You gotta talk. Say it loud.
We
Yeah.
live in the same spots, like in areas, but we just don't got business or anything inside the community.
Because we still have that integration part where we're still under some other control. You know what I'm saying? Because we're still empowering outside our community.
Right. Right. Even the homes we live in, we rent from somebody else. So we don't have no territory. Right? Which without territory, you can't produce an economic life. Right? So
You know what some of the segregation was forced upon us too. You look at where the expressways are.
Right.
They cut through the heart.
Yeah. Most of the black communities. That was one that might need to be the next documentary, because there were all expressways, from what I'm understanding, all the major expressways cut all the way, cut right down the center, because the Mount Vernon area around here was totally destroyed. And the same thing in Akron, Ohio. When they ran expressway through, they cut up the black community. And then the city started doing what they call interbelts, putting a loop around the city, and that would go through black communities as well, like 270. Anything else on segregation? Because one of the things they did, because after they rebuilt Black Wall Street, one of the things that destroyed Black Wall Street, guess what? What was it? Integration. Because we start getting edgy, we need to be around them. We feel that we're not enough, so we feel that we have. It's almost like we're the only people that feel that we have to prove ourselves to a whole nother group. We got to be approved and sanctioned by a whole nother group. And we got to kind of get out that mind state. All right. We talked about the U.S. government attacking it from the air. Oh, now this is what I'm gonna say about the quality of the movie. I was kind of disappointed about the quality of the movie. Right? It was kind of, what y'all think about the quality of the movie? Huh? Don't talk up, man.
It was a documentary, but it could have been, I don't know how to explain it, more eye-gluing. Like it didn't capture.
Because some of it was Google Hangouts. Yeah. Somebody got on this and did it. Some of the sound was off. Not saying that it's not worth getting, because I will buy it again, because I bought it because I was excited about what Dr. Boyce Watkins did. So I'm starting to support other people that's trying to do some of the things that we're talking about. So I went out and got it. But you know what this told me? The question that came to me is, when will we do our own documentary? Because what he showed us was that we could do our own documentary. You know what I'm saying? So I want some of y'all to think about that. Now, this is the other challenge, because I see people looking at the clock. This is the other challenge, right? I'm going to give everybody my email address. Somebody, 3 people in this room, I need a blog post about what you saw up here from young people, because I want to put it on our site. It don't have to be long. You ain't have to write it down. Actually, if you take your smartphone and film yourself talking, you know what I'm saying, about Black Wall Street, because it's important that we start letting people know that we're trying to create a culture of thinkers. We are thinkers. All right, so let's go to the next question. Gosh, you get too big for this, baby. All right, they talked about legacy and inheritance. What's the importance of legacy and inheritance?
It's like the Rockefeller family, how they got a whole empire because of that last name. So, like, that's important. Like, bloodlines is important. Like,
why?
Why? Because you keep the riches inside the family. Like, if you say somebody in here was to start a legacy or empire, that's in hundreds of generations, and that generation don't really have to worry about having around here and being in the rat race or doing all this because of the person before them helped them out. And then when you build a legacy, it's harder for them to attack because, like she said, your name is known. All you gotta say, I'm somebody's cousin or something. Well, never mind, I'm good. Back away.
It's also the elders or y'all's parents to leave something behind this work. It's not just coming from an individual perspective, it's going for future generations. So it's just not about what's going on today.
It's part of building empires as well. But I want to also say when it comes to in inheritance, I think about my mom who isn't here anymore, and I think about a lot of morals and values that she put on us as a family that we didn't realize were there while she was here. We didn't certain things that she did, traditions, and not inheritance to do because, like as far as I go, I implement a lot of her legacy and values and morals in me. So I also, in turn, want to place that on my grandchildren. My kids, they experienced it also, so they had their own, like, grandma taught me this, or I learned this, or I got that from grandma. So it's that legacy is important, and it refers back to that inheritance, so that history, and it gives you that family name.
Mhm.
That's good people. You don't want to be associated with a reputation will follow you forever. Though it's things that people look at brands. Don't think that there's brands that they had when we talk about brand name stuff that they had like back in the day that looks like it's off brand to us now. One of them was like some kind of bleach my mom used to, actually, my mom, which was like some kind of borax bleach or something. When I looked at that, I'm like, it just looks so cheap or something, but my mom was like, that's some good stuff, Mom, and I used to use that all the time, and it brought me back to just learning things as we come along and we accept it and we use it. Those are legacies that we carry forward.
And that's why another piece that I always stress with y'all is that it's important that y'all start putting your thoughts down, start creating, start writing, because a legacy is not just leaving money. Now, we need to be able to leave money and property and stuff like that too. We need to work towards that, but it's good to leave some like journals, some of your writings for your children. See, I've been doing a radio show. I got like over 1,000 shows, and I ain't got a lot of people listening. People are like, why you keep doing it? Because I'm leaving a legacy for my kids. Maybe one of them might be smart enough and make a fortune. Maybe one of them might need to hear my voice one day so they could remember how I sound. I left it for them. Left videos, I'm leaving books, and I'm challenging all y'all to do the same thing. Because whether y'all know it or not, some of the stuff we're doing is leading to us having a multimedia company. We already got fans. We got followers on Facebook. We got followers on Google Plus, and we started we now starting a YouTube channel. So this ain't just for my kids. This is for your kids. This is why I say talk up loud and let people know who talking.
Right.
So that legacy, that inheritance. You got your arm up. You just resting. All right. Next question. There we go. Oh.
Smart.
Right.
Smart. I'm just, yeah.
An investment club is a group of people that come together and invest money. Right? So you got some investment clubs that invest in real estate. You got some investment clubs that invest in stocks and bonds. So one of the challenges that we're gonna need to do, because actually adults are supposed to be working on this, and I wonder how many. I don't know if Tracy was here that day. Oh.
No, yes, she was.
Oh.
Yes, she was.
Has anybody looked at the application? Wait, hold on.
Oh, wow.
You might see me. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. It's still up. Here.
Tracy. Sorry.
Ah, it's still up. All right, cool. So one of the things we're gonna have to do here is we're gonna have to form us an investment club. So we can start with stocks. We can start with stocks, bonds, or whatever y'all want to start with. But somebody in here gonna have to take responsibility for doing the research, for developing. So you're gonna be the leader of investment club. We're gonna have a Gye-Nyame investment club, and we're gonna have you gonna pick some mutual funds or something. Or I posted something on the timeline that your mom might better plug you into, where it talks about how to form an investment club. All right. So who's going to write something about this tonight? One, no, you already took a responsibility, but you can do it. I need 3 other people. Well, Willie already volunteered, so you need to either do a blog or a picture or something. You don't know how what? All right, so now I'm gonna eliminate all that. So you telling me that you don't know how to do an Instagram? The moment it was born, I fell asleep. Or I learned about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and now I'm motivated to go and start my own business. Something simple like that. All right? But I need 3 people, and it just don't have to be kids, it can be adults too.
I'll do it. Me and Shamika should be one since we.
Right. I'm just saying we be trying to serve, but we.
Yes, and we have Triana. She just raised her hand. Thank you.
All right, so make sure you get it to me so I can post it.
Emailing that to you, or
yeah, you can email it to me or you can text it to me.
It's easy, put it down.
Why are you doing too much once again, young lady?
It's only an email or text line, that's fine.
something like that. She stays on that phone.
Right. She's always on.
Be quiet.
All right. We only got a couple more points. Do anybody remember how the riot began?
Oh yes, I remember.
Go ahead.
The elevator was I guess off balance, and it was a black man. I want to say or something like that. He stepped onto the elevator and lost his balance and grabbed, out of reflex, grabbed the attendant, the elevator attendant woman. And so then the other people in the elevator wanted to accuse him of assault. Yeah.
Now, what is the lesson in that?
Don't trip.
Go ahead.
People lie to accuse you of things that you didn't even do.
Right. Well, especially when they hate you, right? They'll take your words, they'll twist them. They'll take the facts, they'll bend them. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand when you, because we always talk about haters, but a lot of us crumble in the face of haters. A lot of us stay stuck because of haters. Because we say we can take it, but when they start, it's relentless, and y'all need to understand that. So, for example, we start an investment club, right? The first thing that they will attack is the investment club leader. He's stealing money. You see what I'm saying? So we got the one, start getting some of that trust that we need. So, all right, now let's see. All right, now you mentioned something about the story being buried. Why you think they buried this story?
I think they go ahead. Thank you.
I think they buried the story because they didn't want nobody to know the truth about what really happened.
Why? What's the purpose?
Because if somebody figured out the truth, then after that,
What's the truth?
That the man did not try to rape her.
So you know something.
What else? Yeah, what else? Like,
About that.
And he
Like,
did not.
about the kind of stuff. About us being the same greatness.
our greatness. Wanted to bury our greatness.
It's okay.
Troy, did you
Cause
say
uplifting. Like,
Huh?
it would cause uplifting. They put it in the history book, like, and they put it in school, like how they put George Washington stuff. If we had to read it 100 times, it would get better in our DNA, and it would come back out, and then it would take over again. So it would just be sorry, and then it would just be a whole full-out war, probably a mind war. Probably not good.
I mean, what if we continue to see or get reminded of our greatness or things that we did, the prosperities that we've made in our past, that would want us to continue to be prosperous and want to do better and strive to do better. So if that's buried where we're not seeing that, then we don't have anything to look forward to. So we're in that cycle.
My dad, he actually told me that the schools actually deliberately don't teach us our history, and they try to hide it from us, so we don't know about our past and who we were. And he said there's this really good book about the Black civilization of they actually have a book about it because they don't want to teach you that in school. They only teach us about slavery, and if it's Black History Month, that's basically all they teach us.
Right, that's a good point to bring up. Slavery is constantly brought back up to our surface to keep us mentally thinking that that's as great as we can be, or that's our past. That our past goes way deeper than that. There was life before slavery, you know what I'm saying? And then not even just that, back in slavery, like there's actually stories of not every Black man was a slave when he got here, you know. And I don't have any specifics for you, but it was people who even Black people who even owned slaves. So a lot of things, nothing's getting reflected on you, so it can spark up that flame of your greatness. So that's why it continues to be buried. In my opinion.
I think we went through all the questions. All right. They mentioned something about social networking. Anybody remember what they mentioned about social networking? You don't remember I'm talking about social
The
networking?
equalizer for the information that we put out.
Oh,
I do remember that one.
So
Just endless information, like you said. You could ask any question, what would you ask? And nobody said nothing. You said Google. They will answer every question just like that. So
now that's for research. But I'm talking about
that post can circulate, that one post you post, it can circulate around the community, which is Facebook a million times a day. So that information can get out real quick and real fast.
Like you said, the word you used was viral. And what viral means, how fast it can spread.
Yeah. One, like 2 seconds of shares, and then it goes to the whole world.
this is the challenge. How many of y'all got social networks? How many on Facebook? How many on Google Plus? How many on Twitter? Nobody on Twitter. Nobody use Twitter's bomb. That's how many on Instagram?
Oh, you know, put your hand up right now.
All right, so I need to get a Gye-Nyame for Instagram. But on Facebook, you got Gye-Nyame Journey. On Google Plus, you got Gye-Nyame Journey, and on Twitter, you got Gye-Nyame Radio. Follow those, and then find this hangout. I'm gonna have it on there as a hangout. It's called Warrior Training. It's gonna have Warrior Training 5/30/15. That's the day. And share it. Let's see how many hits we can get. I'm more fluent. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is I put out some information and only one person will like. That's sort of like how a dollar does. You want your ideas to circulate. We want ideas that's coming from us to start circulating. You know what I'm saying? So we need to start learning how to use the social network, because like with Google, one of the things I noticed with Google, who got Google Plus? Once again, they got these things called circles. And there's only so many circles that your post to hit. So you could put public. An extended circle. When somebody pushes a like and share, it goes to their circle. And then when 3 people push it, it extends out to their circle. So you might have 50 friends, and your friend might have 50 friends, and the other friend has 50 friends. And all those people that are sharing it, it becomes a viral idea. And it's real simple. It's as simple as somebody pushing a like and somebody sharing your post. But we're not using it like that unless it's some crazy stuff on video. How many of y'all seen some of the videos coming from our community that go viral?
A lot, and they're all crazy.
And they're all crazy. What does that say about our mind state? And what does that say about what we're using? One of the most powerful tools in the history of man. In the movie, they said this is the first time that a black person could be in touch with another black person without having to go through filters. For example, my family is from Florida. Before the expressways was built, my mom said they used to have to drive 3 days to go see their relatives. Now, if I want to go see my relatives, I could do it in like 18 hours driving. But now I could call Florida for free. Some of y'all are so young, y'all don't even know that people used to have to pay for long distance. Y'all, anybody know that?
Yeah.
I know.
I remember you be like, you don't do that now.
Some companies do, but most people with cell phones.
Oh, with cell phones is different, but back in
landlines.
Yeah, when we had landlines and stuff, I remember back then my mom would be like, Miranda, don't call long distance, because I have relatives who live in Akron and live outside the 614 area code, so I couldn't really call them until like after 5 when it was allowed. But now since I have a cell phone, I can call them all I want without having any restrictions.
And this is the first time in history that it's been like that. I'm sorry, Tracy.
I want to make a comment too, because we talked about how we get negative things on our timelines and stuff like that. Janelle isn't here right now, but she actually made a comment that I didn't know about before, and that is when you like or comment on a negative video or post, that empowers that video or post. So that spreads that negativity. So I want y'all to keep that in mind the next time y'all decide to like, comment, and even share the post. That's empowering that negativity of your reflection. So I just wanted to make that comment real quick.
And I mean, there's certain ways that we can start learning together how to use social networks to leverage our ideas. How many of y'all know there's people whose job is to be on Facebook, or to be on Google Plus, or to be on Twitter? How many of y'all know there's people making money off of YouTube? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think one young man was saying we need to sell shirts as a fundraiser, right? You said that, right? But we wouldn't really make no money if we just sold it in this room, would we? You know, but like I said, if we was to put you on a Facebook post, this is what's crazy though, right? We put you and a couple of other young people in here on a Facebook post and saying, here's some young black men trying to start a business. How many likes do you think they're gonna get? How many shares? But if y'all was to pull out the cameras right now and he was to start cussing me out. See, the state of our social network shows the state of our minds. The state of what we do on the social network show where we are mentally. So we got to learn to be and we got yeah, oh, fish fry. On, I need to make this announcement on June the 19th because we're about $3,000 short of being able to take 40 boys and 5 to 10 girls to summer camp. I don't know how many girls we take because we still got to work on transportation. You going?
She is right there setting up the glasses on her head.
So we're about 5,000. What I say? We about $3,000 short. We done raised how much? We done raised $13,000 for simple.
How have you been raising it? I mean, how have you just worked about
I've been grinding. No, we got partnerships with agencies. We done had people applying for grants. We done got some grant money. But we got money for Simba. Now what we got to do is we need this final push. So on the 19th, we got to sell about 500 fish dinners. Right? So I'm gonna put this on Facebook. I'm gonna see how many likes I get and how many shares I get on this. So hopefully some of y'all can leave with flyers, and on the 19th, right out here, we're gonna be selling fish, fries, and coleslaw. And on June the 19th, and be selling dollar pop. So don't come with your own drink, because I'm gonna run up and slap it out your hand. Huh? The pop is gonna be for $1. And guess who's selling it?
$7.
We're gonna put Willie on the juice. He gonna be selling the pop. But the point is, we are short, so we need to raise this money. So we need everybody to keep this in mind. Start talking about it. Start telling people about it, and share the podcast. Share the broadcast or the podcast, whichever one you share. Let people know that on the 19th we're gonna have a fish fries on Friday. We're going to have music. It's going to be nice. We're going to have a place where you can sit down and eat. People going to be able to conversate. And it's going to be a nice event. So we'll do that on June 19th. Uh-oh. Y'all ain't going to like this one. Y'all already answered who's going to write the blog post. Y'all ready for this one? Courses. Brother Hot Tim, exploring on the internet, has found a way to where when y'all come to class, right? When we come to class and I be giving assignments, and I give you papers for you to take home, and nobody remember to bring them back, right? Now what we're gonna start doing, I have an application now where I am going to be able to give assignments, and all of the work will be done on the internet. So I will be able to track who's doing what. So instead of just act like, for example, we talk about the questions, we talk about some of the videos and stuff like that. We talk about symbol literacy. We talk about hip hop decoded. I'm gonna have a test up on the site, and everybody have a link so that you'll be able to go to it and find it and take the course, so we can keep track of who's doing what. Because when it comes time to start handing out rank, I want to make sure I'm giving it to people that deserve it. Y'all got it? Last one will be a question. I'm going to close this out, though. What does the mind have to do with rebuilding our culture and our economy? Because they kept talking about the mind on that video, right? Yep. They was talking about the mind. So, in order to change how our money flow, we got to change what first?
How we think. And
how we think.
Yeah.
And somebody said values too. I could dig that one. That's a good answer. So I want to thank all those people that are, well, we only got, that's me. I want to thank those people that's going to see this in the future. And I want to thank everybody in this room. Y'all give yourselves a round of applause so everybody can see y'all. Before I shut it off, if you want the world to know who you are, come up in front of the camera and introduce yourself. If you don't want to do it, I'll shut it off now. Anybody want to come up and anybody want to take time to come and introduce themselves? Go ahead, baby.
I'm Trayana.
Right here, baby. Come right up here.
Oh.
Right on, say, so the camera can see you real good.
Hi, I'm Trayana.
Nobody else? Nobody else?
Nobody else?
I was on for the first.
I like me.
Think.
They come with that boy choice.
Yeah, that, what is it you eating? That boy Troy.
Hi, I'm Tracy.
I'm Tracy.
You're who?
Tracy.
Who is you? Who are you? Taki too? Oh, no, yeah. Come on, sir.
I'm Tyke's Cox.
Nobody else?
I'm Tracy Cox.
All right.
Look, what about Lakia King and Moena Pinson and Willie Pinson, Shamika Phillips? Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Diane.
Miranda.
We Miranda right now.
Yeah. Hi, world. And I am Miss Tracy.
Hi, I'm Miranda Rhodes. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Nobody else.
This is building. This is history we making, right?
We making history right
That's
now.
how we gotta treat it.
Right, we making history.
This better I tell, and I'm out. Too black, too strong. That was